Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song I Can Feel It from NF in his album Therapy Session. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what's going on with this song. I Can Feel It expresses the idea that he can feel the pressure of his decisions and his surroundings changing around him after he put out Mansion. It states he only made $9,000 a year from his album, and now he has labels giving him deals. I don't fully... Sure, I guess it could be I can feel the pressure, but I really feel like from the context of the song, and especially kind of the closing lines, it's more so like I can feel that I'm on to something. I can feel this career taking off, especially because one of his songs, a few songs back, he talks about like what he's doing, what he's accomplishing, how he's come into the game, the fight that's within him. So I feel like it's more centered around that idea. What did NF say? I feel like my life is about to change after this album. I'm seeing it change even now, and it's exciting. So yeah, this confirms it. But it also brings you back to how things used to be. It's crazy to go from traveling in a van, 10 people at your show, to traveling around and actually having fans. Yeah, I'm sure that's an awesome feeling. Anytime people are interested in what you're creating, super cool feeling. I mean, I do graphic design, web design, do videos, photography, things like that. And yeah, I can remember the first time somebody said yes to me, that they wanted something that I created. And that's a great feeling. Even my son has been doing these drawings for people, and I can see it in him. He did one for somebody, and then somebody saw it and they wanted him to do one for them. So then he did it. And now, he's got several people asking him. And so it's a fun feeling when people desire the things and it doesn't have to just be in art or music or movies or things like that. I think even like if you bring an idea to a meeting or a process in your business or whatever occupation you have or anything like that, that you have an idea that people get on board with is a really cool feeling. Used to drive a car that ain't running right, overheats in the day, so I drive at night. And that's so funny, because I'm sure it was a reality. It's like if you got errands to run or things to take care of, you have to take into account how hot it is outside because your car might break down. I know it sounds funny, but it's real life. Yeah, I know it sounds funny, but it's real life. Pulled over because it died at a red light. I thank God for the hard times. Yes. Because I guarantee without him, I wouldn't be here. It's funny, my wife and I were reflecting just on even when we first got married. Thankfully, we both had vehicles that were paid off, but they were both like, they weren't glamorous at all. They were paid off because they were a couple $1,000s each. But even thinking about our first apartment and how we had nothing, and we used the money that was given to us during the wedding to like purchase our first furniture, and it was like, the $20 tables that you can get at Walmart that are the faux wood tables. And we had a futon as our couch. We were so excited because we plugged our TV up in our first apartment and we had full cable. And I called and I was like, hey, we have cable, but we're not paying for cable. I wanted to make sure we weren't going to get charged. They were like, oh no, it should shut off in a couple of days. And it never shut off. And so the first year that we lived in that apartment, we had like Food Network and HGTV, and we loved watching those things together. But yeah, you look back, and then the next apartment went to a 2-bedroom. We were having a child. And it was just like, you look back at how much money we made, and it was like, how in the world did we survive? And it is fun to look back and remember and appreciate those things, even though there's difficulty in them, but it produces who you are. I was given 2 cars. I ain't really out of money. Trying to rap, making $9,000 a year. I don't say it so you feel for me. I say it because it's real to me. Got to my grandma's hoping she can make a meal for me. Now I got some labels on the tables saying that they got a deal for me. I'm sure this is a tie-in on the tables with a meal. In Michigan, the winter's cold. We wouldn't want to turn on the heat, keep the bills low. We're sitting in the living room in our winter coats. Yeah, we're sitting in the living room in our winter coats. And I remember a friend, it was funny. I don't really know why, if maybe they had their heat maybe wasn't working in the house. I'm not sure. I just remember walking in one time and they had the oven open and the oven was turned on. And then they had the stovetop, the electric stovetop turned on. And I had never seen that in my life. It was just sounds, and again, it must have been because something wasn't working properly, because obviously that's not very cost efficient. But it was just really interesting to me. I'd never really seen that. Driving around town in the Grand Prix. I had a Grand Prix. People telling me I should get a plan B. Snow on the windshield, can't see. Trying to work 6 in the morning, that's me. Sometimes I miss those memories. They pop up back in my mind like remember me, which I think is important. You do have to remember them. I think it keeps you humble, keeps you grateful. Records stop selling, these people won't care for me. The older you get, the more family is everything. Yeah, and then it just kind of repeats. But this line, trying to work 6 in the morning, that's me. I think that goes back to what I was talking about in the React. It's always great to hear about people's beginning and what it took for them to bring their dreams into reality. And I think that a lot of the times those stories go unseen. And, you know, it could be encouraging or discouraging, you know, but the reality is when you start something, you know, you have to like keep it in view, play the long game, and be surprised in some ways by success. In some ways, it's not a surprise because you can see it in your mind's eye. And hopefully, you know, in starting something, you start it with the idea that's like, I'm going to make this successful. I'm going to put the work in, knowing it's going to be a long, hard road. But then I think there is a bit of surprise, and it kind of is what he's somewhat reflecting on here too. It's just like, hold up. Like I remember like going to my grandma's house just so I could hopefully get a meal, like a good meal, because maybe I don't have the money for it. And then you're like, wow, I got record deals right now, you know? And so I think that's the thing. You start something with a plan for it to succeed. And then at some point there is a bit of surprise, like, oh, wait, hold on. Like I'm living in the thing that I was dreaming about. It's very cool. Well, let me know your thoughts on the song in the comments and anything else you want to share. Thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.